Dr. Malcolm Davis is an expert in defence strategy with the Australian Strategic Policy Institute and joins us now live from Parliament House in Canberra. Dr. Davis, there's no agreement as yet, of course, but we've already done joint patrols with Indonesia in the Timor Sea, for example. The unknown here is how China will react. It could prove pretty provocative, couldn't it?
Well, it's not designed to be provocative. It's designed to uphold international law and freedom of navigation of the seas. And certainly I think the Indonesians have justifiable cause for concern regarding the Natuna Islands, where China's declared 9-dash line in the South China Sea overlaps the economic exclusion zone around those Indonesian islands. And there's been a number of incidents between Chinese fishing fleets that have been fishing illegally in those islands, around those islands, and Indonesian coastal patrol vessels. So I think these patrols between Indonesia and Australia are a good thing. They send a strong message to China that the region will not tolerate China encroaching on other people's territory or their territorial waters. And I think they are upholding international law.
Given that it was just last month that China told Australia to speak and act cautiously, how do you think it will react to this? If it eventuates, of course.
Well, I think the important thing here is that China does not decide our foreign and defence policy for us. We do that, okay? So therefore, I think that they may get a little bit uptight about this. They may become angry about this. But frankly, we have every right under international law to undertake joint patrols with the Indonesians in international waters and to support our allies, including the Indonesians.
And Indonesia has tried for years to avoid being dragged into these sort of disputes. Why is there a change? Were they buoyed by that Hague court decision in July?
Well, I think everyone was pleased by it, apart from the Chinese, of course. But I think also the Indonesians are very concerned that the Chinese seem to be steadily encroaching around the Natuna Islands. And the Chinese are undertaking what people commonly call is salami slice tactics, which basically means small low-key actions designed to expand their control over the South China Sea without actually generating a military response. And the Natuna Islands incidents are part of these salami slice tactics. So therefore, Australia and Indonesia and other ASEAN countries have to stand together and actually prevent the Chinese from steadily encroaching upon the region and assuming control of the South China Sea, because that would then undermine the United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea, undermine international law, and in effect turn the South China Sea into a Chinese-run strategic strait.
So do you expect these joint patrols, if they eventuate, would venture into the most contentious areas?
Well, that would be up to the Australians and the Indonesians to decide. I suspect that probably they will begin in the less contentious areas, and indeed in the South China Sea there are less contentious areas. We don't necessarily have to go right into the dragon's den, shall we speak. But eventually the true test of our relationship will be if we're prepared to stand with the Indonesians around the Natuna Islands. And I think that's when the challenge will come, is how do we respond to an incident with a Chinese fishing fleet around the Natuna Islands.
Dr. Malcolm Davis from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, thank you so much.
Thank you.